Hello future people, welcome to Getting Tabled. I'm Jason the Bruce, this is Prepare for Conquest, and today we're discussing magic. You can arrange your brushes, prepare your clippers and your knives, but sometimes no matter how many tools or paints you have, it's not enough if the dice are not on your side. Sometimes you only have one choice, and that choice is to prepare for conquest. So, this is one of the challenges that I set myself when I first decided that I was doing this series of videos. To date, I haven't seen anybody do a magnetization guide on either of the infantry kits that it's available. So, when doing this, I set myself a couple of questions that I needed to answer as part of this. A, was it possible? B, do they still look right? And if they do, what compromises do you have to make to get it to work? Because there's almost always a compromise. And 3, is it actually worth the effort that you have to go through? When it comes to magnetizing kits, generally speaking, people like to do it or they don't. Because it's not hard, but it's not easy. It's very fiddly, is what it is. So we're going to start with the Braves and the Blooded, and then we'll look at the Hunters and the Slingers. So, here you are, having a full layout. For comparison, this is a figure that I've built the normal way. So this is one of the Braves. He's got his shield. He's got his spear. He's kind of halfway through lifting it, ready to throw it, is kind of what I've gone for there. So, let's try to replicate this as closely as we can with one of my magnetizing kits once we've had a look. So, this is the point that you need to build them to if you're going to be magnetizing them. So you've got 2 halves of the bodies. In some versions you have legs that are separate as well. In this particular kit, I did glue on the heads. I did not bother trying to magnetize these. I did, however, try doing that with the Hunters and the Hunters and the Slingers, which is what we'll look at after this. So, what does he need first to replicate our guy over here? He needs a shield. So, here we go, he's got a shield. Now, in order to build the shields, you need to start by gluing on the arms. I prefer to glue those on and allow them to dry overnight, personally, before I did the magnet, just because the arms by themselves get a little bit difficult to hold when you're drilling in, and this gives you more to hold on to. So there we go. He's got a shield, and now he needs a spear. So I'm going to go with that spear. And there we go. We got one. We've got 2. We've got 3. And wrong arm. And we've got 4. So, it definitely works for that side. Does it work for the Blooded? I don't have a glued version of the Blooded to show you. Certainly works with that guy. And that guy. And that guy. and that guy. So, as far as this particular kit's concerned, it's definitely possible. Now, I can tell you for a fact that there is a couple of guys in here. There's an example there that you can see, where the magnetized... The magnets doesn't quite sit flush. No, that's one of the ones where you've got to be careful how you hold it, how you line it up. I do have a couple of weapons here that are not actually perfect when it comes to the magnets. You do have to be kind of test fitting them as you're going to make sure that you're deep enough, because if they stick out, it ends up being really, really obvious. Unless you're someone that's quite happy with green stuff. If you're happy using green stuff, that'll allow you to be a little bit more flexible there. Personally, I avoid green stuff like the plague, because I don't have a lot of skill with it. And yeah. Alright, and here we have the hunters and the slingers. Now, first up, one of these, and I don't remember which one it is, has a magnet that's polarized the wrong way. So at some point during this, I'm going to go, there it is, and probably blush a little. But I'm going to leave it in, because that's just, it doesn't really, yeah. But it's something on this side, not something on this side. I don't have a fully built example for you, because I kind of figure we've already done that with the other one. But this is the point that I built to. Now, realistically, you probably could put this arm on as well, because the arm on this side is the same for all of them. I kind of didn't realise that until after I was doing them. My recommendation, honestly, is really no reason, unless you really want to be able to pose this for some reason. Yes, I realise there's mould lines on some of these. That's not really the important part at the moment. But I would probably recommend gluing that on, because there's just no reason to magnetise it. Now, in order to get the magnet in the head, I had to slice the neck off, because otherwise the head would sit up too high and look unnatural. Drill into the body. This is really, really fiddly, because you've got to drill all the way into the body, and then super glue around the edge, and then very carefully place the magnet in, and then hold it as you're pulling the rest of the magnets away. It's a giant pain. When it comes to the heads, I don't recommend it. It's more trouble than it's worth. But let's build some guys. So we've got arms here. Let's start by building hunters. No particular reason why I'm choosing hunters. It's just what I'm doing first, because that's what I've lined up first. And I don't remember which way around this is, so I'm just going to pick those heads for the moment. Now, into the heads, I've had to drill into the neck again. With these two-part heads, this is kind of a bit of a pain. They're hard to hold on to begin with when you're drilling them anyway. But when you're putting the drill through, it tends to pull the parts apart. So you would be wanting to leave these to dry overnight, minimum, in order for that to work. If you really want to do it. Like I said, when it comes to the heads, I just don't recommend gluing the heads. It's just more trouble than it's worth. But, and there we go, we have a magnet that's not flush. I knew that there was going to be a couple of them. This is one of the risks that you will face. Moving on to slingers. So I'll be wanting to change that. Still works. Ah, there it is. So this is the one that I've got polarized the wrong way. And there we go. And just to show off the other head, because obviously I'm not going to be able to show off the last guy, although I could steal a weapon from this guy. So there you go. Magnetizing the 2 infantry kits that's currently available is definitely something that's possible. Now, this is something that I would recommend taking your time with if this is something that you want to do. If you try to rush things, you're going to come across some of the issues that I've had in this video. The best thing that I can recommend is to start with, double check the polarization of your magnets every single time before you put the glue in, and know which side it is. Some people prefer to mark each side of their magnet so they just never make that mistake. Personally, what I tend to do is say this is my magnet. I will get it so that my magnet is sticking to the piece that I'm going to be sticking it to. Therefore, I know that this side is the bit that's going to be gluing in. And I'll just leave it there, leave the line of magnets there until I'm ready for it. That way, the magnet's doing all of the work for me. Out of 2 kits, I'm not even 100% sure how many pieces that is, but we're looking at quite a few pieces. I've gotten 1 wrong. Yay for this guy. So, it's definitely possible on both of the kits. Realistically, they look right too. My personal recommendation would be to make the sacrifice on the heads. I just don't think it's worth the time, and it's really, really fiddly. Personally, if you wanted to magnetize it, my recommendation would be to just pick some heads, and that's where you draw the line on one of your sacrifices that you're making. As for whether it's worth doing, I'm kind of a little bit conflicted. Yeah, I know I said that this is one of the questions that I had to answer, but hear me out. It's definitely possible, but magnetizing is always a giant pain. The idea of this is that if everything's magnetized, then potentially I don't have to buy as many dual kits, because every kit I buy is 2 things, and then I can just swap and change the parts around when I want. I'm not entirely convinced it's going to save me a lot of kits though. This isn't the sort of thing I'm going to buy 20 times. Therefore I'm saving myself $500 because I'm not buying another 10 boxes. I mean, there's definitely multiple boxes that I'm going to be buying here, but I don't... It's definitely worth it. I'm just not sure if it's worth the time. I'm kind of fence-sitting on this because I don't really feel strongly either way. There's definitely some money to be saved if you want to be frugal here. Personally, the large reason why I did this was a personal challenge. One of the things I always loved when you're painting with friends is when you're egging each other on to try something new. Oh, you should try this. Have you tried doing that? And you're always pushing each other forward. And that's kind of something I've missed in this COVID era. Because pictures over the internet don't really show as much as looking at something in person. And I've kind of missed that. One of the things I wanted to do with this series, because I was only focusing on one thing, was to try and push myself. So I tried with the magnets, because I haven't seen anybody else do it yet. At the same time, I like a challenge, especially when it comes to the hobby. I'm not a professional painter that gets paid millions of dollars. I'm not a commission person. I have a regular job. This is something that we do as a hobby. We are trying to grow this so that it can be self-sustaining, but this is not an income for us. This is a cost for us that we do. Hey, if you'd like to support us, do the affiliation thing at the end for the next time you buy stuff from Parabellum. That'd be great. When I started this, the reason I set those questions is because honestly, I thought I was going to come out of the other side of this with a stronger opinion as to definitely need to do this. I don't understand why you wouldn't be doing this, or this was just really annoying. I mean, it was annoying, but it's not hard. It's just fiddly, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I can tell you that I won't be doing this with the rest of the kits that I haven't built yet. That might be your answer, but honestly, this is something that I think you need to decide on for yourself. You now know that it's possible. If you take your time with it, yours will probably look better than mine do. If you're interested in getting into Conquest or expanding your existing force, either use the QR code on screen or the link in the description to open the Parabellum website, and when you're asked if you have a discount voucher, enter Getting Tabled without spaces, just like you see on your screen, to receive 10% off your order. In doing so, not only will you save money, but you also help support our channel without any cost to you. Thank you very much to anyone who chooses to do that. It's greatly appreciated. You're helping us improve our content and bring more content to you. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, please like and subscribe. If you're in a position to do so, please check out patreon.com/gettingtabled. You receive early access to at least 80% of all videos that we put out, and you get access to the video edition of all of our podcasts the day that they're uploaded. If you'd like to check us out on social media, facebook.com/gettingtabled is the most active. We also have a Discord server. You can email our team at gettingtabled@gmail.com. If you're on either Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. And until next time, play more.